So let's talk about the angle relationships test, or the practice test. I'll walk through each question, do your part, and hopefully you get something out of this. So this is the figure we're going to use for questions 1 and 2. We have two parallel lines intersected by a transversal. So that gives us 8 angles. 4 of them are obtuse, 4 are acute. Remember that all the obtuse angles are equal and all the acute angles are equal. That any obtuse angle plus any acute angle makes it supplementary. So let's go to question 1 here. I'll slide this up a little bit. Question 1 says, which pair of angles are congruent angles? Congruent means equal or the same. So basically, any pair of obtuse or any pair of acute would be right. So let's look. Angle 7 and angle 4. Angle 7 is acute. Angle 4 is obtuse, so they are not congruent. Angle 2 and angle 3. 2 is acute and 3 is acute. So they are congruent. They are the same. So number 2 says, which of these angles is supplementary to angle 5? Remember, supplementary means equal 180. And in parallel lines cut by transversal, any acute angle plus any obtuse angle makes a supplementary pair of angles. So we've got 5. 5 is an obtuse angle, so what we're looking for is an acute angle to make it supplementary. Angle 4 is another obtuse, so it's definitely not supplementary. Angle 6, it happens to be acute and it happens to be right next to 5, which not only makes it supplementary but side by side. So it definitely is angle 6. Question 3. The measures of 3 angles of a triangle are given by 10x plus 3 degrees, 7x degrees, and 12x plus 3 degrees. What is the measure of the largest angle? So this is a 2-part question. The first thing you have to do is remember the angle sum theorem, which says that the 3 angles of a triangle are equal to 180 degrees. So if I do this, and I know that 3 angles are equal to 180 degrees, I can add these 3 angles together and make them equal to 180. So 10x plus 3 plus 7x plus 12x plus 3. That's all 3 angles. And they together, triangle sum theorem says that together they all equal 180. So they equal 180. I'm gonna go through this. You could use NSolve, and that would work fine. I'm gonna go through and do this the old-fashioned way. So I'm gonna add up all the x's. I got 10x, 7x, and 12x. Well, 10 plus 7 is 17x's, plus 12 is 29x's. Then I add up all the constants. 3 plus 3 is 6. So 29x plus 6 equals 180. So moving this over, I subtract 6 from both sides. So I get 29x equals 174. I divide 174 by 29. And I get 6. So x equals 6. Now, I really haven't determined which is the angle. It's 6 is in here. I've got to add this back in. Well, I'm going to look at these and use a little bit of logic here. If x equals 6, you'll notice this is 10x plus 3, so it's 10 times 6, which is 60, plus 3 is 63. So that one's 63. 7x, 7 times 6 is 42. And then I go over here, which was the obvious choice anyway, because 12x's is bigger than anything else. So 12 times x, I got a giggling gallery in the back, is 72. So 12 times 6 is 72, plus 3 is 75. So 75 degrees is my largest angle. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 says, what's the measure of angle A in the triangle below? Well, first of all, notice that these angles are made up of small equations. So I've got 3x minus 13 and 2x plus 4. So angle A, which is this one right here, when I get done, it's not the value of x. It is the value of 3 times x minus 13. I'm going to figure the value of x. 2 ways to do this, and probably the easiest for you all is remember triangle sum theorem, which says inside of this measure equals 180. And these two here are supplementary, meaning they also equal 180. So 180 minus 116 will get me this angle here. So 180 minus 116 gets me, 64 degrees. Now, these three together, just like the problem before, equal 180, so I can add them up. 3x minus 13 plus 2x plus 4 plus 64 equals 180. Same thing, old school, we'll work the problem out. We'll add up all the like numbers. So 3x and 2x is 5x. Negative 13 plus 4 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 64 is 55. Equals 180. I subtract the constant from the left side and move it to the right side, doing both to the same. So this goes away. I get 5x equals 180 minus 55, or 125. So x equals, to find x, I divide both sides by 5, so x equals 25. Now I know x, now I got to put it back in. So 3x, 3 times 25 minus 13. That's 75. I'm on the screen. Let me move up a little bit. Minus 13, or 62 degrees. Question number 5. Which of the following is not an exterior angle of triangle BHE? Not an exterior angle. So remember, an exterior angle must have one side of the polygon. So this is not an exterior angle because it does not contain a side of the polygon. Neither is this or this. So I'm looking for one of those three is not an exterior angle. So first one I get is ABC, and that happens to be correct. Angle ABC is not an exterior angle. Number 6. Which set of three numbers can be used to make a right triangle? So this comes back to your calculator, and you're going to put them in and do the thing. Remember, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C is always the largest number, and these have been kind enough to have all the hypotenuses at the end. So I'll start at the beginning. 12 squared plus 60 squared equals 62 squared. My calculator says that's false, so that is not the right answer. I go to number 2 there, or B. 60 squared plus 61 squared equals 63 squared. And I enter. That is also not true. It says false. Go to the next one. 11 squared plus 60 squared equals 61 squared. That one says it's true, so that is a right triangle. All right, this is the first half of the practice test. I will do another video on the second half. Hope that helped.